Hi, I'm Lucas from the cast of Chris, The Rise of Chrome Chris, and Chris War of the Beards, but, So, let's just get into the interview real quick. So, how does my character face new challenges in this movie compared to the previous one? Well, my main character, Christos, I guess now you could say, he faces the challenge of meeting this new villain that is Chrome Chris. He's a much bigger threat than Christos ever was or could be. He's this version of him that he just can't quite, finish off by himself, and that's why, we had a whole big team in this film, and honestly, I'm not sure if I could say that because I'm not sure if the film's out yet. I don't know. It most likely is. But anyway, let's get into the next question. Let's see here. What was my part in the script of Chris, The Rise of Chrome Chris, Episode 2, and why? I think it was probably what was your favorite part. So, but I'm just gonna do, what it says here. So my parts in the script for Chris, The Rise of Chrome Chris, were Christos, the main guy, and honestly, I feel like I chose to do him, because, I can just get up there where I, need the voice to be, and since it's, the main character, honestly, I'm gonna be for real here, it takes so much less direction, if you're playing the main character itself, and I know some people who you meet in your life, and you do films with them, and you play as the main character in the film, they're gonna be like, dude, that's such an ego move. It's really not. Honestly, it's a direction move in the film step, I guess, because, you wouldn't have to, and especially with the way we were doing this, since we can't really, be in a studio together, we're sending voice lines, through text and stuff, and, I have to text the actors their, what they have to do, and, it's hard, but if you're playing the main character, it's so much more easier, for direction. So I think I just chose to do that because I can get the voice where I need it to be without having too much, direction. And I also play as Brandon, honestly, because I was supposed to have a guy play him in the first one, but then he just never, recorded the lines for it and never, showed up for it. So I just kind of was like, I'll do it. And I also played John Mulaney and Jim Carrey and Chris Pine. And I'm probably someone else. Oh, no. Chris Tyson. New Chris Tyson. And all those were just other ones because I just thought they were hilarious to do. And that's honestly why. How do your characters' relationships with others evolve in this installment? Well, honestly, I'm not sure if you've seen the interview of Sam, but you should for sure go check it out. He makes a lot of valid points in there. And one thing that he says is that this script it's much more better and much more advanced than Chris War of the Beards' script. Simply because, there's a better story here than playing it safe with good guy needs to get something from bad guy before bad guy destroys the world. This time there's more on the stakes because it's the entire Chris verse. You know what I'm saying? And in the third one, the stakes are going to be much more higher with a brand new villain on the horizon. I can't say much about that, but it will be insane. And yeah, so the characters' relationships evolve in this one, because honestly, I think since we have a much more advanced thing, I tried as a writer myself, writing this film, I tried to, envision, I was like, how could I make this feel more like an actual conversation that's going on in the real world about something, much rather than, hey Joey, hi Chris, how are you? I'm okay. That's just cheesy. I needed it to be something more like realistic than just like a film, And yes, that is a little, realistic on how some things are, but like not super awkward. You know what I'm saying? Here is the okay, the next question is, can you tell us about the new villain in the movie and how your character interacts with them? Okay, the new villain, Chrome Chris. As I said before, he is a powerhouse. I mean, come on, he is amazing. He is a great character. He has so much flair to him. And honestly, I think getting Grayson to play him was an amazing move on mine and Sam's part, because he does such a good job, not impersonating, but bringing this character to life, I guess. And how Chris interacts with him it's hilarious, because at the end he's like, Chrome Chris, this won't go down well, and Chrome Chris is like, you think you can defeat me? He's just such a cocky guy, and it's so awesome that Grayson was able to envision that like I wanted him to, and I didn't have to give him much direction, so I love that. Let's see here. Okay. So, did you have any stunts or action sequences to perform, and how did you prepare for those scenes? So, honestly, what I meant in this was just, how did you prepare for your role? What I did was, I genuinely, when I wake up, I kind of have like a little bit of a, raspier voice, like a deeper voice. And so for the Chris lines, I would, when I would wake up, I would record those lines, so that it has more of a rasp to it. Not just this, it wouldn't just be like up here, and then I would get a little bit lower with this, and, that could be a whole new character. You know what I'm saying? But, you just have to be kind of, like, smart when you want to do things, and you have to be smart when your voice does certain things that you need it to do. Which character was my favorite, and why? Honestly, I think I might have to say Chrome Chris in this one. Simply because he's an awesome character, and honestly, just like Sam said, I kind of want to see more of this guy, and it might be cool to bring him back in a future installment, whether it's like a prequel and he's his original version of himself as a Chris Wooden, or it's it's like a sequel and we bring him back, one last time. But yeah. And let's see here. What exciting details do you have to share about Chris's backstory? And what else? Oh, Chris's backstory and origins in this movie. Well, Christos, my bad. I keep calling him just Chris, but it's Christos now. Anyways, his kind of, whole origin here is that in the end of the first film, he gets kind of, spoilers by the way, if you haven't seen it, go check it out right now. Go check it out. Come on, what are you doing with your life? But the very, what happens at the very end of Chris, the War of the Beards, the Beardstone splits in half, and when that happens, two people can collide into one person, and that's what happened to Kratos and Chris, and they became Christos, the all-powerful being that is, and what was the most challenging aspect of portraying your character in this film? Okay. like, I know Chris in person. He's a guy I know. And I had to, kind of just, like, hear what his voice sounds like so I can kind of, in a sense, replicate that, to get his voice down perfectly. You know what I'm saying? Like, down. I mean, I guess I kind of did it, but, some things I do regret in this is that some of the lines do sound like my own voice, but some sound like him, which is pretty cool. Let's see here. Did I have any input in developing my character's storyline? How do you think it will feel to see your ideas come to life on screen? Oh, brother. Well, yes. I did have lots of input on my character's development because I was one of the co-writers on this wonderful film. And honestly, I think the most exciting thing to see on the big screen will be, just the because I'm also editing this film, so I think it would just be awesome to see the film on the big screen, in general, because it takes a long time to do this, When I was younger, I thought it would be like a freaking cakewalk to, complete a movie, but realizing it, even with just like 14-minute shorts, like it's still like hard to get down, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm so thankful for all the people who are working on this with us, and it's just so awesome that these people are, with it too, and they like are genuinely down to help, which means the world to me. And I love my actors so much. These guys are awesome. Grayson and Sam and Joey, which is my dad, he plays himself in this, which is hilarious, but it's so cool. I love how they contribute to this. And finally, questions. What sets Chris, the Rise of Chrome Chris, apart from the previous movie, and why should fans be excited about the new installment? Well, I think that this film is set apart from the first one simply story-wise, because this story is so much more compelling, and it actually is more serious than just like the beard stone will be taken away. It's way much more serious than Chris War of the Beards was, and that's a fact that I love about this. It's so amazing. And honestly, that is the end of the questions. But I want to say real quick, watch out for some new projects that I'm working on. I have 2 upcoming things that I am currently working on and writing. I can't really say what they are, but you will find out when you see them, and you will be mesmerized. So, thank you for listening to this interview. I'm Lucas Jeffords, the writer, director, and actor in Chris, The Rise of Chrome Chris, and Chris, War of the Beards. But it doesn't matter anymore. Chris, The Rise of Chrome Chris. Thank you. Please watch the movie when it comes out. I'm sure you'll love it. Have a nice night.